Good day, sir. My name is, nope, we're trying this again. Good day, sir. My name is, Michael Say. Welcome to Scoutr, and, today we're going to be exploring the worlds of minor injuries. Hey guys, welcome to Scoutr. If you're new here, consider subscribing. We actually have a pretty exciting video today. I'm going to be reading through a blog post that I wrote, 3 days ago about minor injuries and how to heal them. Most people know how to deal with most of these, but most people also don't know how to do them correctly. So we're going to try and go through, we're going to try and learn these again, but the proper way. So without further ado, let's get into it. Cuts and scrapes. Have you ever gotten a cut or a scrape? Probably, unless you're Superman. Treat a cut. It's very simple, but you need to stop the bleeding. This could be a cut of any size, but this is basics for all cut treatment. This is a pocket knife, right? Let's say I were to open the knife up and then accidentally cut my thumb off or something. I don't know. What's the first thing you want to do? Well, you want to stop the bleeding. So how do you stop the bleeding in a cut? You apply pressure. That is the most important thing when dealing with some kind of cut or battle wound from getting thrown into the Amazon place. Sorry, I don't know much about biology. So you want to apply a ton of pressure. Depending on the size of the cut, you actually want to apply a lot of pressure to stop the bleeding quickly. Typically, your blood will deal with the rest for you, and it'll clot up unless you have some kind of weird disease, which, if that's the case, you shouldn't be using pocket knives. So, once you apply the pressure, you wait for it to kind of clot over a bit, and you probably want to clean the wound. Depending on how bad it is, like I said before, you want to deal with it differently. Let's say it's a more serious one, like I cut my thumb. Then yeah, the first thing is to stop the bleeding. And then the second thing is to wash out the wound and apply a bandage. Maybe add some kind of antibiotic into the mix before the Band-Aid. But in the case of like a small scrape or I just nicked my thumb a bit, all you have to do is, I recommend washing it out just with water and soap, and then you bandage it. And another important thing with cuts is you need to make sure you're updated with your tetanus shot, because if you're not, then you could get lockjaw and die, and that's never fun. Never fun. Blisters. Blisters are a wee bit more common than cuts, I think, but it's really simple to deal with a blister. You might get a blister after going on a hike with really gross socks. First thing you want to do is you want to swab the blister with iodine and then puncture the blister. Now, a lot of people do this in the form of popping the blister, which is fine, but I prefer to take like one of them knitting needles, and not a knitting needle, that's wrong. That is just like... Okay, so what you want to do is you want to take one of them sewing needles, that's the right word, and you just kind of lightly puncture the dead skin on the top, and you let the fluid drain out. And then you clean the area with soap or some kind of antibacteria, and you apply an ointment and a bandage if necessary. 3. Minor burns. Most common one is sunburns. So the first step is to avoid getting something like this, which actually you should be doing for all of these. You want to make sure that you wear lots of sunscreen. I think it's SPF 50 is the recommended. And yeah, that's all good if you wear sunscreen, and you won't get sunburned as often. Before treating any burn, make sure to remove any jewelry or rings or clothing. And then you run cool water against it. Let's say it's my arm. I would take all the bracelets off of it, and then I would put it under some cold water. And then I would avoid popping any blisters, because the blisters are actually very important for fighting infection in the burn, which that's a problem, because obviously you don't want your arm to turn into a zombie of an arm. That's just gross. So yeah, don't do that. And then yeah, after about a minute in the water, apply aloe vera and bandage if necessary. Chances are if it's a sunburn, you won't need to bandage it, but, you know. The next one, nosebleeds. When the blood starts leaving your nose, pinch your nose and sit straight and lean forward like this. Wait about 5 minutes before you stop to check if it continues to bleed. This is what I used to do when I was younger. I used to have a lot of bloody noses, and I used to be pretty self-conscious about it too. But you always wait 5 minutes after you start pinching your nose, and it should go away after 5 minutes. If it continues to bleed, just go through it again, and if it continues to bleed after that, you might have a problem. Don't blow your nose for a few hours afterwards, so you can prevent another episode. And also, I didn't put this in the blog post, but I often recommend not leaning forward too far. So like this is not recommended if you're fighting nosebleeds, because it starts up the stuff inside again. You could probably tell I don't know a lot about biology. Next thing, insect bites and stings. The first thing to check for after being stung is if you have a stinger in the afflicted area. So let's say I was stung in the arm because I tried to reach my hand into a nest of wasps to grab some honey, which if you reach into a wasp nest to grab honey, you're an idiot. You deserve to be stung, okay? I gotta make sure that there's no stingers still in my arm. So what I do is I look at my arm and I pull out a knife or some kind of card. This is cardstock, not just straight paper, so it's good. You can also use a credit card. That's very common. So what you want to do is you take the credit card and you put it on your arm at a 25-degree angle, give or take. You know, you don't have to measure it out or anything, and then just kind of gently scrape against your arm, and it should peel all the stingers off of your arm, sort of. Magic. Okay, the last one is quite extreme compared to the other ones. Yeah, it's quite extreme. It's not really a small affliction. It's a venomous snake bite, but I mean it's smaller than a lot of other ones. So yeah, let's go get into this one. Whenever you're bitten by a snake, always assume the bite is venomous, no matter if it is or not. Even if you recognize the colors as non-venomous, always perform first aid like it is venomous, because it could be, and if you're wrong, it can cost you your life, which means you're going to die. Don't try and remove the venom from the bite. Don't suck the venom. I don't know where that myth even came from. That's just stupid, because even if you do manage to get the venom out, you're going to get it in your mouth. And plus there's that blood thing that I was talking about, and the pathogens, and the number one important thing to remember with snake bites is keep it away from your heart for as long as physically possible. Yeah, so get away from the snake. That's a given, because don't try and catch it. That's just dumb. I mean, I can see some of my friends doing that, but just don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. That was a long blog post. This is quite a long video, so yeah. I'm not going to read the end conclusion. You got to go read it yourself. Go check out my blog posts on Scoutr website, which you can find on the link thing somewhere on my YouTube channel. Yeah, go check out my Instagram and Twitter if you want to, and leave some feedback to some of my stuff. I really appreciate fan feedback. I know I haven't gotten a lot, but I really like when fans give me feedback or opinions or something they want to talk about. So if there's one call to action you should take away from this, it's go to one of my social media and leave a comment. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you later.